Hello world. On this edition of this session, I'm going to be discussing the issue and topic of does age really matter? Uh, and this goes both ways for a man and a woman, whether or not she's the younger one and he's the older one, or whether or not she's the older and he's the younger one. Uh, Again, I probably mentioned this in some of my other videos that love should be open. It should be tolerated in, for the most part, whatever forms that it comes in. And it's nobody else's damn business who you choose to fall in love with or who someone else wants to be in love with. It's really none of your concern. Um, but I want to address some of the topics and issues and the stigma that is surrounding that. I do not believe that age should be a limiting factor in the attraction between one person and the next person. Uh, I've always hated it, the concept of how people or society wants to associate maturity with a certain age level or age group. Um, and that's something that really always bothered me because I think that a 16, 17, 18 through 20-year-old can be just as mature as a 25, 30, or 40-year-old in his or her demeanor, in their personality, how they carry themselves, their manners, just knowing how to appropriately behave or to correspond with society. I think that's what maturity is, being able to understand and assimilate in with the social settings. It's not really based on a number. Um, so it really just pissed me off when people just say, oh, he's too old for her, he's too young for her, she's too old for him, too young for him, etc., along those lines. Whether or not it gets to that topic and issue of is it cradle robbing? I believe that it's really only cradle robbing if they're under 18. That's my views, and that's probably the views, I guess, of this nation, where we set an age limit. That's where I draw the line as far as being intimate, but that's not to say that guys and girls aren't mature at 14, 15, 16 if they want to be intimate with their partners of same age. So if you're 14 out there humping another 14-year-old, not my that's not my say. Uh, if it's someone significantly older, let's say 25, 30, yeah, I think that's probably cradle robbing and wrong and on the side of being illegal. Uh, but of course, the legal age varies from country and culture and nations and everything else along those sides. So I want to get the biases out and try to be as open and as candid and not be so ethnocentric with my response. Um, and it really does, this age matter. It's a stigma, it's a social stigma. It constrains and restricts someone from falling in love with someone else. um, I am not against someone younger, let's say between 13 and 14, to start a relationship with someone older. Now, that is not to say that I condone any kind of intimacy or sexual relations between the two. I still feel that it should be above a certain age gap, more towards the 17 and 18 range before they get to that point. But if they start from that point, and if they choose that that's who they want to be with or start developing feelings, I don't feel that it's any harm until you cross that intimacy boundary. Uh, but age by no means should it be a problem. And I guess what keeps people from doing it is the social stigma, again, of people looking down and judging and calling them freaks and weirdos, or he or she is a cradle robber, and or just abnormal and everything else along those lines. So if there's a 80-year-old man out there that wants like a 18 or 20-year-old and happens to be with that person, so be it. Good for him, good for her, if that's how it is. And of course, we can go through and say, oh, she's only with him because he's rich, he's loaded, or he only wants a younger, hot body. If that's the case, if they're both over the legal age and they're adults, it's none of your damn business what they do. So, I mean, it just really bothers me how everybody wants to get into everybody else's business of what he or she can or can't do, and then how the law and the government and everybody else is trying to get into our personal daily lives. And I mean, we don't have privacy, we don't have freedom, anything else, and it goes into our social and love lives and everything else. So I just think that it's quite a personal infringement and a breach of contract between individuality, government, and everything else that should be separate. But that's just my take on the age matter. So if you're a 50-year-old woman who's still attractive, and you're attracted to that 18, 25-year-old guy, go for it. Guys, same thing. If you're looking for a sugar mama, by all means. Girls, if you're looking for a sugar daddy, by all means. You have that freedom, that right, that personal choice, and you shouldn't let anyone tell you otherwise. For those that's not looking for a sugar mama and a sugar daddy, and if you're genuinely attracted to someone older or younger, being above the legal age of consent, by all means, please say the hell with social norms and society, and go with your gut instinct, go with your feelings, how you feel, because life is too short to always be restrictive and try to follow the rules and laws of society if it means that you're going to be living a life of loneliness, suffering, and always in fear of persecution and whatnot. You shouldn't have to deal with that. Your ideas and values of yourself, your self-esteem should be all that matters, and that of your loved ones and how they see you. As long as you're happy, he or she and the rest of the family and friends are happy, the hell with what everybody else down the street is looking and pointing at, because they're not you. They don't know what you've been to, what you've gone through, and how you're feeling. So, peace, love, and love everyone. Thanks for watching.